Cleveland and Columbus sports fans, and happy Easter to one and all. Today we are going to be talking Cleveland Cavaliers as they start their run in the NBA playoffs this evening. We will talk Columbus Blue Jackets. How did they wrap up their regular season? Did they make it to the postseason? Spoiler alert, no. We will talk Cleveland Monsters, who have made it to the postseason. And then we will talk some baseball with the Guardians, the Clippers, and the Akron Rubber Ducks. We will wrap things up with some volleyball with the Columbus Fury and the Ohio State men's volleyball team. We will talk about the Browns and the draft that is coming up this week. We will wrap up the show finally with some football with the Columbus Crew and the Cleveland Crunch. So stay right here with me, Jenn B, on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'll be right back with all of that after these messages from our sponsors.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps. for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am your host, Jenn B. Thank you to all of our lovely sponsors. Be sure to check them out. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Head on over to planetjerky.net to place your orders today. Orders over $50 or more get free shipping. Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also works to support and promote mental health research. Head on over to their website and place your orders using code IESR and get 15% off your orders. Seal the Deal Wax Seals, the perfect finish to your letters, invitations, and gifts. Head on over to iSports Radio /Seal the Deal Wax Seals to place your orders for them. And of course, IE Sports Radio. Be sure to follow us on all of the socials. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button and drop a comment below saying, I subscribed for the show of the land. And our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Head on over to getrawnutrition.com using code IESR for 10% off your orders. You can follow me on all of the socials at Show of the Land IE on X for the show. And then me personally, you can catch me on Instagram, X, Threads, Blue Sky at BelieveLand Girl, and on TikTok at Jen.BelieveLand. Before we get into the sports, let's check out the comments. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. He is the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. I don't know why I can't say that. It's too many S's. That's probably why. Anyway, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show that you can catch on Fridays. He is also the host of Set Point, our volleyball show that you can catch on Mondays, and co-host of 3 and Out with our own Larry B. And you can catch that show on Saturday mornings during football season. There's some shows outside of football season as well, like for the draft and the combine and things like that. But it is every Friday every Saturday during the football season. And then we have Ralph Calise, the host of the Yinzer Report, for all of your Pittsburgh sports needs. And You can catch him on Saturday mornings or Saturday at high noon, actually. And then we have Mikey Two Guns. Thanks for joining, Mikey. It's been a while. Hope all is well with you and the family. And a happy Easter to you and Indie Sports Nation. Our own Big Mike, he says Cavs in 4. I agree, though I would not be surprised if it ended up being Cavs in 5, but we'll talk about that here shortly. Big Mike is, of course, the host of Indie Sports Nation. You can catch him on Friday evenings for your indie sports needs. Now let's talk some Cavs. So the Cavs finished the season 64-18 overall. The last game of the season was something. And I'm sure Mikey can, or Big Mike can agree to this. This was like insanity. So it was basically a G League game because both the Cavs and the Pacers had clinched their playoff positions. So Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, Dean Wade, and Isaac Okoro were all out. Jarrett Allen was the only regular starter who played, and that was so that he could get his 82nd consecutive start of the season for the first time in his career, and he did accomplish that. With all of those guys being out, the starting 5 were Craig Porter, Javonte Green, Jalen Tyson, Naquan Tomlin, and, of course, Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen played 41 seconds to get his 82nd consecutive start of the season. That was a drunk G League game. See, I told you Mike would have a comment about that. So, the outcome. The Pacers won 126-118 in double overtime. Double overtime. Let that sink in for a second. Last game of the season, both teams had clinched their playoff positions. Double overtime. And at one point, the Cavs led by 27, yet they lost in double overtime. Jalen Tyson led with 31 points. Naquan Tomlin had a double-double with 24 points and 10 rebounds. I will say the only positive that came out of this game is these young guys did get some significant playing time at the NBA level, though there weren't a whole lot of regular NBA players playing in this one. Tristan Thompson played, so I guess you could count him as a regular NBA player, but I mean, because he sure as heck isn't playing for the Cleveland Charge. But I mean, and Jarrett Allen played for 41 seconds. So yeah, that's how the season ended. Crazy, right? Nobody wanted that one to go that long. So Kenny Atkinson has received his first flowers of the postseason. He has been named the Michael H. Goldberg National Basketball Coaches Association's Coach of the Year. So congratulations to Kenny for that. Much deserved for sure. And the Cavs playoff run starts tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, and the Cavs will be taking on the Miami Heat. Now, like Mike said, Cavs in 4, I tend to agree. However, it would not surprise me if they did drop one game in Miami. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I will say if this series goes beyond 5 games, there's some questions that need to be answered. But game 1, like I said, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Game 2 will be Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and game 3 will be Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is it for the Cavs. We will get more into them, of course, next week as the playoffs get underway, and hopefully we will still be talking positively about them. I don't have many doubts, but we're gun shy here in Cleveland. Now for another playoff contender, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Man, did this team fight hard. But I'm not going to go there just yet. Let's talk about how they finished out the season. Last Sunday, they played the Washington Capitals, winning 4-1. Zach Werenski, Adam Fantilli, Dmitry Voronkov scored the goals. Adam Fantilli had 2. Jet Greaves was named the NHL First Star of the Week. Then Tuesday, they played the Philadelphia Flyers, and they were still in the playoff race at this point, winning 3-0. Dante Fabro, Kent Johnson with a power play goal, and Adam Fantilli scored goals. This goal for Adam Fantilli was his 30th of the season. So fantastic season for our sophomore player, Adam Fantilli. Excuse me. I have a tickle. Spring. Yuck. Anywho, Adam Fantilli is the first player in his draft class to reach 30 goals in a season. So congratulations to Adam. Sorry, my notes don't make sense. Anywho, this was Jet Greaves' second career shutout. But sadly, the Blue Jackets were eliminated from the playoffs with 1 game left to play in the season after the Montreal Canadiens beat the Carolina Hurricanes, who were resting guys because they had already clinched their playoff seeding. But that didn't stop the Blue Jackets. They had 1 game left to play. So Thursday, they played the New York Islanders, winning 6-1. Cole Sillinger, Dante Fabro, Dmitry Voronkov, Sean Corrali, Zach Werenski, and Adam Fantilli all scored goals in this one. So Adam Fantilli hit 31 goals on the season. I am going to do a season review on the Blue Jackets, probably not next week, probably the following week, because next week we will be talking NFL draft mainly, and how the Cavs and the Monsters are doing in the playoffs. But I will do a season review. They had quite a few significant marks this season, and finishing 4th after finishing last year is huge, even though they did miss out on the playoffs by 1 point. 1 point. If just one of those games in that stretch of losses had been an overtime loss or a win, they would have made the playoffs. Just 1 game. If 1 game had played out differently. Crazy, right? But Jet Greaves went 173.38 shutout minutes, the 4th most in franchise history. He did allow the 1 goal in the game against the Islanders, but, he shut out the Philadelphia Flyers. And then last week, he had shut out the Washington Capitals. So in 5, I think it was 5 games, it might have been 6, he allowed 2 goals. 2. But I will talk about that more when I do the season review on the Blue Jackets in a couple of weeks. Jet Greaves also recorded 36 saves in this one. Following the game, the Blue Jackets did loan Jet Greaves and Denton Matejchuk to the Cleveland Monsters for them to finish out their season in the playoff push and then proceed on to the playoffs. In the exit interviews, Dean Evison was asked what was going to happen with the Johnny Gaudreau locker, and I'm going to try and say this without crying. Dean Evison's response was, Johnny Gaudreau will not leave the Columbus Blue Jackets dressing room as long as I am in Columbus. Hey, I did it without crying. Woohoo! When I was reading it, I was getting all teary-eyed, and my husband asked what was wrong, and then I read it to him, and I started crying. Oh, but yes, so that is amazing. And all I'm going to say about this season, because like I said, I'm going to do the season wrap up in a couple of weeks, is Johnny is proud of these guys, without a doubt. He is looking down and smiling. Now, for the team that did make the playoffs in the hockey world, the Cleveland Monsters. They got some help because they sure didn't help themselves. So Sunday they played the Toronto Marlies, winning 6-5 in a shootout win. Old Julian Borvik-Holm scored a goal. Travis Wolanski, Dylan Gambrell, Rocco Grimaldi, Mikhail Putia all scored goals in the game. And then Travis Wolanski had the shootout win. The Monsters recalled forward Curtis Hall from the Cincinnati Cyclones. Wednesday, the Monsters played the Rochester Americans and lost 4-1. Luca Del Belbelu scored the lone goal in that one. Friday, they played the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, losing 7-3. Luca Del Belbelu, Dylan Gambrell, and Guami Richard scored the 3 goals, but the Blue Jackets got some help, or not the Blue Jackets, the Monsters got some help, and the Belleville Senators lost, allowing the Monsters to clinch a playoff spot. Yesterday, the Blue Jackets played the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, and I forgot to put the final score in my notes. So, I'm pretty sure they lost 4-1. Pretty sure that's what it was. And I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. They lost. But Evan Gardner got his first career start. And they, like I said, they lost. So it apparently wasn't the greatest start. But shout out to Larry B, the head honcho of IE Sports Radio, host of 3 and Out with Darren Rodriguez. And the defining moment. You can catch the defining moment on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting this week. And like I already said, 3 and Out on Saturdays. He also co-hosts the Sports Couples Perspective with his lovely wife, Cecilia B. And you can catch them every 3rd Friday of the month. Except for March, because it was March Madness. So the Cleveland Monsters begin their playoff push quest for the Calder Cup on Thursday in a 3-game series against the Toronto Marlies. They have played well against the Marlies, so hopefully they can get through the first round, and then we'll see where things go from there. They do have Jet Greaves and Denton Matejchuk back, and they did not play them in those last 2 games, even though they had been sent back down. Well, league-wise, it's down, but geographically it's up to Cleveland. Following the Blue Jackets loss or not loss, but final game of the season on Thursday. But they did not play Denton or Jet in those last two games of the season. Saturday's game, most likely because they had already clinched the playoffs, and Friday's game, most likely because both of them had played in the Blue Jackets finale on Thursday. And Jet Greaves had played 5 games in 6 days or something like that for the Blue Jackets. So I'm sure they wanted to give him some rest before the playoffs begin. But that is going to wrap up our hockey and basketball talk for today. I'm going to take a short break, and when I return, we will get into some baseball with the Guardians, Clippers, and Rubber Ducks. So stay right here with me, Jenn B, on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after this.
Hey, sports fans. Are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson,
It's your boy, the Notorious Live.
and we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I am your host, Jenn B. Let's talk some baseball. The Cleveland Guardians. How are they faring this past week? Well, not well. Sunday, they finished out the series against the Royals, losing 4-2. The starting lineup was left field Stephen Kwan, DH Jose Ramirez, first base Carlos Santana, right field Junkenzie Noel, third base Gabriel Arias, center field Angel Martinez, second base Daniel Schneemann, catcher Austin Hedges, shortstop Brian Rocchio, and starting pitcher Ben Lively. Lively went 6 innings pitched, had 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 4 earned runs. Yikes. Daniel Schneemann did hit an RBI double that resulted in a Little League home run due to a throwing error by Bobby Witt Jr. So, way to go, Daniel Schneemann. Tuesday, the Guardians started a series against the Baltimore Orioles. They won the first game 6 2-3, even though my notes say they lost. I don't know why my notes say they lost, but they do. But they won. They did win. The starting lineup was left field Stephen Kwan, third base Jose Ramirez, first base Carlos Santana, DH Kyle Manzardo, right field Nolan Jones, second base Gabriel Arias, center field Angel Martinez, catcher Bo Naylor, shortstop Brian Rocchio, and starting pitcher Logan Allen. Logan Allen pitched 5 2/3 innings, having 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. Lane Thomas did pinch hit for Nolan Jones in the 7th, and it was his first time back in the lineup following the wrist injury that he sustained last week. And Stephen Kwan hit a 2-run home run in the 5th. Wednesday, the Guardians fell to the Baltimore Orioles 9-1. Yikes. The starting lineup was left field Stephen Kwan, third base Jose Ramirez, first base Carlos Santana, DH Kyle Manzardo, left field Lane Thomas, right field Angel Martinez, shortstop Gabriel Arias, catcher Bo Naylor, second base Daniel Schneemann, and starting pitcher Gavin Williams. I'm not quite sure why they let Gavin pitch this long, but he went 6 2/3 innings, had 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, and gave up 5 earned runs. So, yikes. Not sure why they kept him in there, but they did. Gabriel Arias had a solo home run in the 3rd, and that was the lone run of the game. Angel Martinez also left the game in the 8th inning after slamming into the wall in center field, making a catch. He did, however, make the catch. So that was positive. On Thursday, the Guardians played the Baltimore Orioles once again, losing again 6-2. Starting lineup, left field, Stephen Kwan, DH, Jose Ramirez, first base, Carlos Santana, third base, Gabriel Arias, right field, Nolan Jones, center field, Lane Thomas, second base, Daniel Schneemann, catcher, Austin Hedges, shortstop, Brian Rocchio, starting pitcher, Tanner Bybee. Bybee pitched 5 2/3 innings, had 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, and gave up 6 earned runs. Yikes. The starting rotation not doing well in the ERA department. But Daniel Schneemann and Austin Hedges had back-to-back solo home runs in the 2nd, and those were the 2 runs of the game. Sadly, they could not get anything else going. But don't fret. The Pittsburgh Pirates are up. The Cleveland Guardians started a series against the Pittsburgh Pirates on Friday, winning that one 10-7. The starting lineup was a left field Stephen Kwan, center field Lane Thomas, third base Jose Ramirez, DH Kyle Manzardo, first base Carlos Santana, right field Nolan Jones, shortstop Gabriel Arias, catcher Bo Naylor, second base Angel Martinez, starting pitcher Luis Ortiz. And Luis actually did not have a terrible outing. He pitched 5 innings, had 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, and gave up 2 earned runs. Bo Naylor had a solo home run in the 3rd. And the Guardians did try and lose this one because they were up like 10-2 or 10-3 or something like that. And then the relievers gave up some runs, and the Pirates tried to come back, but they did not complete the comeback, and the Guardians did get the win. Saturday, they played Game 2 against the Pittsburgh Pirates, winning 3-0. Starting lineup, left field, Stephen Kwan, right field, Nolan Jones, third base, Jose Ramirez, DH Kyle Manzardo, first base, Carlos Santana, catcher Bo Naylor, center field, Angel Martinez, second base, Daniel Schneemann, shortstop, Brian Rocchio, starting pitcher, Ben Lively. Lively did not have the greatest outing, but it also wasn't terrible. It was just a weird one. He didn't give up any runs, but it wasn't his greatest outing. He went 5 1/3 inning with 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. No runs given up, of course, since it was 3-0. And Kyle Manzardo hit a solo home run into the Allegheny River in the 7th inning. And Emmanuel Clase got the save. So that is fantastic for Clase because he definitely needs to boost that confidence after a slippery start to the season. Next up for the Cleveland Guardians, they go for the sweep of the Pittsburgh Penguins this evening. I believe the game's at like 5:30 or something like that. And then they start a series tomorrow against the New York Yankees. And then they will have a 3-game series on Friday to Sunday against the Boston Red Sox. The series against the Yankees, also 3 games, Monday through Wednesday. Let's talk some Columbus Clippers. Are they still killing it? Nah. Because all good things come to an end. They went 3-3 this week, dropping Sunday's game to Worcester and then going 3-2 against Louisville. They will finish the series against Louisville today, and then their next series will start on Tuesday, going Tuesday through Sunday against Lehigh Valley. They are still holding on to first place and are 1 game ahead of the Iowa Cubs. The Rubber Ducks. What is happening with the Rubber Ducks? Did they fare better than the Guardians or the Clippers? Nah, they didn't. They went 3-3 this week, winning the last game of the series against Altoona, but going 2-3 against Erie. They will finish the series against Erie today. And their next series, starting Tuesday, going through Sunday, will be against Richmond. And we must do our Travis Bazana watch. He has had 50 at-bats so far, 1 home run, 9 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, batting average of 300, and his OPS is 897. So not too bad. Expect a little more power from him, but it'll come. It'll come. He is getting extra base hits, just not the home run ball. But that is going to wrap things up for the baseball. I am going to take another short break, and when I return, we will talk some volleyball, some football, and some football. So stay right here with me, Jenn B, on the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and I'll be right back after this.
What's up, guys? If you're looking for the best coverage of all Northern California sports, including 49ers, Giants, Warriors, then check out the NorCal Sports Report with yours truly, Andre Fernandez, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We have guests every single week talking 49ers, Giants, Warriors, Sharks, San Jose Earthquakes, and a whole lot more, plus 3C2A. You do not want to miss this show. So tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time to the NorCal Sports Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Check out Set Point with Taryn Rodriguez tomorrow for all of your volleyball needs, and the NorCal Supreme Sports Show on Wednesdays. I think it's Wednesdays, with Dre for your NorCal Supreme Sports shows, or your NorCal Sports needs. Yikes, I can't talk today. Anyway, let's talk some volleyball. So the Fury started out the week on the upswing, but then it went Wednesdays. It is Wednesdays. Thank you, Taryn. I thought so, but there have been some schedule changes recently, and they've been throwing me off a little. Anywho, back to the Fury. They started the week out high, finished low. So Sunday, they played the Vegas Thrill and swept them 3-0, winning set 1 25-20, set 2 25-23, and set 3 25-21. Wednesday, they played the San Diego Mojo, winning 3-1. Set 1, they won 25-22. Set 2, 25-20. Set 3, they lost 22-25. And then set 4, they won 25-19. But then Friday came along and they played the Orlando Valkyries and they got swept, losing set 1 17-25, set 2 18-25, and set 3 17-25. So there goes their winning streak that they had going. Next up for the Fury, Friday, they will play the Omaha Supernovas. The season is getting close to wrapping up, so there's not too many games left or matches left for the Columbus Fury. So we'll see how they do on Friday. Hopefully, they can get back to winning. But we are going to talk about a team that is winning. Ohio State men's volleyball. So this past week, Stanislaw Chinsinski was named the 2025 MIVA Newcomer of the Year. And then the Buckeyes had 3 young men named to the All MIVA first team: Stanislaw Chasinski, Shane Wetzel, and Cole Young. And they had 1 player named to the All MIVA second team, Daniel Henwood Rodriguez. So congratulations to those guys. The MIVA tournament started yesterday. Number 3 Ohio State took on number 6 Lindenwood, winning the wow, I really cannot talk. Chachinsky. There we go. Thank you, Taryn. They won the match 3-1, winning set 1 25-15, set 2 25-23. They dropped set 3 24-26, so it was a close one there. And then they absolutely dominated set 4, winning 25-14. In set 4, Shane Wetzel surpassed 1,000 career kills. So congratulations to Shane on that achievement. Next up for the Buckeyes, Wednesday, they will take on number 2 McKendree. So good luck to the Buckeyes as they proceed in the MIVA tournament. Hopefully they can continue on and get the win over McKendree on Wednesday. Now we're going to talk some football before. Oh, that's not men's volleyball. There we go. We're going to talk some football before we get into the football. There's this little thing coming up this week called the NFL draft. Don't know if you've heard of it, but it's happening on Thursday, and the Browns have, like, not a big deal, but the number 2 overall pick. But before we get to that, they did make a free agency signing this past week. They signed a defensive end, Julian Okwara. So they added more depth to the defensive line. So I posted a poll yesterday, and I screwed up because I meant to change the time frame on the poll before I posted it, but I didn't. So it is still live, so for 5 more hours. So if you want to get your votes in, you can still do that. I will share the results on X once the poll closes, but I am going to go over the results as of this moment right now. And the post said, Browns are on the clock and you're the GM. Who are you picking at 2 overall? Options: Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Shador Sanders, and other. Comment below. And as per usual, people cannot follow instructions. So we have 53.2% say Travis Hunter. And Abdul Carter and Shador Sanders are tied at 21.3% each. And then there's 4.3% that picked other but chose not to comment. So I have no idea who the other might be. But the overwhelming majority say Travis Hunter. And I have to say I agree. I think the Browns are going to take Travis Hunter at 2 based on comments made by Andrew Berry in his pre-draft press conference, based on how the pre-draft process has been going here in Cleveland, who they have met with and who they haven't. And the history of draft picks in the Andrew Berry era. He tends to go for versatile players who have more upside than down. And Travis Hunter checks every box. So, and in his pre-draft press conference, he basically said Travis Hunter is a unicorn. So if Travis Hunter is there at 2, and most likely he will be, because the overwhelming majority of people are convinced that the Titans are going Cam Ward. So Travis Hunter is there at 2. I don't see the Browns passing on him. So that's my thoughts. My husband vehemently disagrees with me and thinks the Browns are taking Shador Sanders at 2. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure what they're going to do, but I am leaning Travis Hunter. The closer we get to the draft, the more I think it's Travis Hunter. If you had asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said Abdul Carter or Shador Sanders, but now I think it's going to be Travis Hunter. So what does that mean for the rest of the draft? Does that mean Joe Flacco or gasp, Kenny Pickett will be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns for the foreseeable future? I don't think so. With the signing of Joe Flacco, I feel the signing of Joe Flacco actually makes me think even less that Shedeur Sanders is an option at 2. Because in Joe Flacco, you get a solid starter for a number of games. Can he start the entire season? I don't know. Probably, but do you want him to start the entire season? So, my thoughts are that the Browns will take Travis Hunter at 2. They have their eyes on a different quarterback in this draft. Maybe they like Shedeur Sanders, but I don't think they like him at 2. So, what do? I personally think they will either try and trade back in to the first round to get the guy they want, or they like somebody who's expected to go lower in the draft. And they will either take him at 33 or possibly even later than that. So, we'll see. But my thoughts is that the Browns go Travis Hunter at 2 and then Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, or Will Howard. I personally don't think Jalen Milroe is a good fit, but I know a lot of people are getting higher and higher on Jalen Milroe right now and the Tommy Reese connection, but we tried mobile quarterback. That didn't work in Kevin Stefanski's offense. So I don't feel that Jalen Milroe is a good fit for this team in any way, shape, or form. But what do I know? We'll see what happens. But we will definitely get deeper into that next week after the draft is complete and we know who for sure we are talking about. So now let's move on to some football with the Columbus Crew. Last Sunday, the Columbus Crew took on St. Louis City SC, winning 2-1. Steven Moreira had a goal at 45 plus 2, and Diego Rossi scored the second goal at the 55th minute. Steven Moreira was named to the team of the match day, starting 11 for match day 8, and Diego Rossi was named to the team of the match day bench for match day 8. Last night, actually yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, the Columbus Crew took on Inter Miami CF in Cleveland at Huntington Bank Stadium, aka Cleveland Browns Stadium. Sadly, they lost 1-0. Their first loss of the season, but it was a record crowd of 66,000 plus, the most ever for a Crew home match, and the most at Huntington Bank Stadium for a non-NFL event. Well, technically not Huntington Bank Stadium because it's only been Huntington Bank Stadium for a couple of months. So the most ever at Browns Stadium for a non-NFL event. So pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Sad that the Crew could not get the win, but there's still a lot of season left and they'll turn it around. They'll figure it out. I'm not worried. They were in first place. They may not be anymore. I haven't checked the standings since that game ended, but they were in first place before that match, so I'm not worried. Next up for the Columbus Crew, Saturday they will take on San Jose. And last but not least, the Cleveland Crunch played for the MLS Championship last Sunday. Sadly, they fell short, losing to the Amarillo Bombers 10-8 in overtime. So it was a great match, but sadly, they fell just short and did not get their second championship in a row. But they'll be back stronger than ever next season. I have no a doubt that. That, my friends, is going to wrap things up for today. Have a blessed Easter and a fantastic week ahead. And I will catch you all on the other side next Sunday, where we will do an in-depth on the Cleveland Browns draft picks. We will talk about the Cavs and how they're doing in the playoffs. We will talk about the Monsters, of course, and how they are doing in the playoffs. And we'll, of course, talk some baseball, because it's baseball season after all. So, like I said, have a blessed Easter. Enjoy your week ahead. Cheer on those Cleveland Cavaliers tonight as they face the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. And catch yourself a race or two, because I'll see you tomorrow on the Extra Mile. Have a fantastic rest of your day, a blessed Easter, and a fantastic week. And I will see you all next Sunday, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, on the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.